Ladies and gentlemen, for your listening pleasure, we bring you another fireside chat with the Jester Laureate of the United States.
Hey everybody, it's me, Jester Laureate of the United States. Welcome to all my fellow Americans. You know, this is the Fireside Friday, the Fireside Chat. Trying to get used to this microphone that Samantha rounded up here, so hopefully the audio's good or better than it was before. I don't fucking know, but yeah, I have to use a computer here now, and I didn't really have a computer, but luckily I was sort of looking through some of those boxes of classified documents that have been piling up around here, and in one of them I found a laptop, and it started right up and didn't even really need a password to get in, so seems to be a bunch of files and stuff on there, but I didn't really have time to look through it. I was mostly just kind of like scrolling the internet and trying to kill some time and stuff. But anyway, for today's topic, I thought we would talk a little bit about, you know, the government shutdown. That's something I've been hearing a little bit about. Apparently the government is still shut down. I haven't really noticed, and you probably haven't either, but apparently, you know, it's been shut down for a little while, and people have been asking about it. I was actually out at the, you know, we got kicked out of, sort of talked about this on the Monday show, but we got kicked out of the Naval Observatory. We're back here now. We're let back in today. Well, not let back in, but there was nobody here to stop us, basically, from getting back in this morning. So that's been good. Yeah, so, you know, on like Wednesday, I was trying to figure out like what to do with my time, really. Like, I'm just kind of stuck here. And so what I did was I went down to the Washington Mall, or I guess they call it the National Mall. I don't remember. But anyway, it's like this big long stretch of grass, and there is like a pool for part of it. There's like that big dick thing. I guess they call them an obelisk or whatever is in the middle of it. And I was sort of walking around there in my Jester outfit, kind of trying to, like, you know, get people to know about, you know, the Jester Laureate, and like, hey, it's me, you know, your Jester Laureate, you know, come talk to me and ask me to tell you a joke. I had some knock jokes lined up. Didn't really get a lot of laughs out of that, but and I was trying to juggle. I talked about that last week, trying to learn how to juggle, and people weren't too impressed by that. Honestly, I still kind of suck at it, so like I can kind of get 3 balls going for like 3 or 4 seconds, and then it kind of falls apart. But I was pretty impressed by like how quickly I went from not being able to juggle at all to being able to juggle a little bit, but nobody else really seemed impressed, and that kind of makes sense, because it's like normally you see a juggler and they're like juggling fucking like shit that's on fire, or like blades, or I even saw one guy do like chainsaws or some shit. So you know, I get it. Like, you know, a guy who can barely juggle 3 balls, you're kind of like, well, you know, who really cares? But, you know, I'm still kind of proud of myself anyway. But, yeah, one of the questions that people kept asking me was like, well, one of the questions was like, what's the Jester Laureate, and blah, blah, and I was like, oh my god, I went over this in the first Fireside chat. So if you're questioning that too, I would say go back and listen to that one where I talk about it and how, you know, my office came into being from like a classified executive order. So it wasn't published, it wasn't like publicized, it wasn't mentioned in the news. You can't really look it up, like there's no way to really prove it, so you kind of just have to take my word for it here, and you know, oh well. But anyway, and that actually kind of got me into trouble a little bit later on. But you know, people were like mentioning, they're like, well, how are you how are you getting paid right now with like the government shutdown? And then I had to explain that, like, well, this doesn't really pay anything. I'm sort of just doing it for free. I'm sort of just doing it to, you know, to entertain the nation, you know. And right now I'm like, I'm entertaining you. I'm getting you ready for the weekend, you know, so you can party and go out with your boys, your girls, your ponies. I mentioned ponies before. That was on the Monday show. Check it out, too. Anyway, I'm not going over the old stuff, okay? If you want to hear it, you can go back and fucking listen to it. But I'm not going to repeat everything I said before. So, listen up now for what I'm telling you now, which is that, you know, the government shutdown doesn't really affect me because I wasn't getting paid before anyway. And so I just started walking around the mall, which is, like, you think there would be more cool shit there, but it's mostly just like grass and trees and shit. But anyway, at the far end of it is like the Lincoln Memorial, and one of the things that is supposed to be shut down from the government shutdown is like the National Park Service. But the Lincoln Memorial is still open for some reason. And then like these dickhead cops from the National Park Service, like they came over and they were like, what are you doing here? Do you have a permit to be here? Blah, 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 blah. You know, they were giving me a really fucking hard time. And I was like, could you guys just chill? Like, I thought you guys were shut down anyway. And they're like, we're essential personnel. So, I mean, you know, if you ask me, I don't even know what the fuck the government shutdown even is, because it's like, what actually gets shut down? I can't tell. You know, it's like the FBI and the military and like the Justice Department. The president's still doing his thing. He's flying around, giving speeches, doing this, that, the other. Congress is doing all their shit. So, like, what even gets shut down? Like, the Department of Agriculture? I mean, like, what actually gets shut down? Apparently not the fucking National Park Service, because those guys, they were, like, trying to write me a ticket, and I ended up just fucking leaving, but sort of besides the point. Like, you know, it, like I was saying, I was trying to tell them that I'm the Jester Laureate. They're like, you need a permit. I'm like, no, I fucking don't. I'm the Jester Laureate. I'm actually, like, above you guys in the government. Like, I'm an official, like, fucking thing. You guys are just employees. And they were all like, well, you still need a permit from the Park Service to be doing blah, 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 whatever. And I was, like, not trying to fucking hear that. But, you know, and then they, like, tried to look up the Jester Laureate, and they're like, well, we don't see, like, you know, one of them got their fucking phone out, and they're like, oh, I don't see anything online. about an office of the Jester Laureate or whatever. I'm like, that's because it's a fucking classified executive order, you goddamn dumbass. Anyway, I'm getting like upset just thinking about it, and that's not what this is about. This is about like getting you guys ready for the fucking weekend, getting you guys ready to party, getting you guys amped up, and telling you about like that you don't have to, like, unlike me apparently, where I had to worry about the shutdown because these fucking clowns, but you guys don't have to worry. You guys don't have to worry about the shutdown because it's still gonna be Party City. You're still gonna be ready to fucking go, and you're still going to, you know, you're gonna get bitches, you're gonna get fucking chads, you know, whatever it is that you're looking for, or maybe you just want to dance. You know, maybe you're not looking to get laid. Maybe you're just looking for a good time. Maybe you're actually looking to, like, connect with that special somebody, and it's like, oh, maybe this is my chance now to sort of, like, you know, make a positive impression on that girl or that guy who I think might be my special someone, you know. Or maybe you're already kind of, like, trapped in a marriage, and this is the weekend where you're trying to, like, reinvigorate things because it feels like, you know, you're just sort of fucking stuck, and you kind of feel like your spouse hates you secretly. They're not saying that, but you sort of feel it, and you're like, well, this is the weekend. You know, we have our special getaway plan. We're going out to the Finger Lakes. We're going out to, you know, Door County. We're going out to the Olympic Peninsula. We're going out wherever you're going, your special place. We're seeing the leaves change. We're getting lobster. We're gonna fuck. We're gonna get a little drunk and sloppy, and it's not gonna be cinematic or anything, but it's gonna be special. And this is the weekend where you turn it around. That's what I want you guys to feel like. Like, this is the fucking weekend. This is the weekend it all happens. And it's happening because you guys are listening right now to the Fireside Chat with the Jester Laureate of the United States, and the government shutdown doesn't even fucking matter, baby. Hey everybody, it's me, Jester Laureate of the United States. No big deal. Thanks for listening to our Fireside show. We're still brought to you by Jefferson Farms, 100% all natural cacao leaf. And they actually reached out to me. I guess they heard my first ad read. They weren't exactly happy about it, but they did inform me that apparently like 15 to 20% of their crop got like sprayed by some kind of like super toxic like pesticide or something, like just the edges of the crop, I guess, because it was like next to some other kind of field or something. I don't really fucking know, you know, I don't really know where these farms are or like who Jefferson is or anything like that. You know, they heard my first ad read about how it had the cacao leaves had like a real chemical kind of taste to them, and they left my mouth filled with ulcers, which I'm still kind of like not 100% over those yet, but they've mostly gone away, or they're not as bad as they were. I've been doing kind of like a salt water rinse, like a gurgle, every night and morning, and that seems to be helping, but yeah, just there's still a lot of like, my mouth is like really fucked up right now, but it doesn't really matter. They sent me 3 more cacao leaves, and these ones taste kind of like normal, I guess. I don't know what they're supposed to taste like, but they sort of just taste like if you've ever had one of those like green smoothies from like a health food place. They fill it with like spirulina or some shit like that, and it sort of like tastes like, you sort of imagine if they just took a bunch of like freshly cut grass and blended that into a drink, then it would taste sort of like that. It just tastes green, I guess. I don't really know, but doesn't exactly taste good, but it's not, it didn't make me throw up this time, so that's a good sign, and it didn't seem to like burn my mouth or anything like that. Also didn't really seem to catch a buzz this time either, so I don't know, maybe there's something in those pesticides that actually like sort of heighten the effect or whatever. But it is supposed to be kind of like a mild thing. Like these are apparently I don't know if these are like the leaves from the chocolate plant or the cocaine plant. I thought it was the cocaine plant, but now I'm not really so sure, because I looked up these leaves and they sort of look like the leaves from the chocolate plant, but I mean, for all I fucking know, they're the same plant. Doesn't really matter, because what we're offering you today is 50% off your first order from Jefferson Farms, and free shipping. So even if this doesn't get you fucked up, even if this is covered in poison or whatever, like you're out almost nothing. So you might as well give it a shot. And that's kind of like where my head's at, like nowadays, is that like, you know, if somebody comes at you with a deal, like something that sounds like pretty good, like there was a guy who, I was staying at this sort of like extended stay place because I didn't really have a place to live, and it was sort of like, it's kind of like a motel apartment kind of deal. Anyway, and there's this guy who was just sort of hanging out in the parking lots, and he was like, I've got like these super fancy watches and I just need to like sell them and get rid of them. And it ended up like, yeah, it ended up being a scam, but like, you know, on the flip side, like, if they had been legit, he was selling them for so cheap that I would have made like a huge profit off of these like watches and stuff that he was selling. But he was selling them for so cheap that in my head I was like, and I kind of felt like, you know, this is probably a scam, but it was like 15 or 20 bucks per watch. So I was kind of like, well, I'm almost like paying nothing anyway, so, you know. And then I was kind of like, well, maybe I can scam somebody else, you know, if these turn out to be fake or whatever. Maybe I can just turn around and scam some other idiot. So, you know, never miss out on a chance to like get something good for cheap, because even if it's not something good, like you didn't pay that much and you could still probably pawn it off on somebody else. So that's kind of how I look at it. Like there's somebody, like, unless you're the dumbest person that you know, then you know somebody dumber than you, and you can probably, like, sell them something. That's kind of how I look at it. So, you know, go find Jefferson Farms, jeffersonfarms.ag.ig.it. whatever. Find them on Google, find them on the dark web, find them wherever you need to find them, and enter, you know, bonus code or discount code, whatever, wherever it asks you for a code, this is what you want to put in: JLOTUS. That's for Jester Laureate of the United States. Code JLOTUS, and that's going to get you 50% off your first order and free shipping. And you're gonna get these amazing primo cacao leaves that probably aren't coated with some kind of disgusting pesticide, and you know, you might get fucked up from it. And if you don't, then, you know, sell it to somebody else for like a little bit of profit. So you really have nothing to lose. And yeah, thank you to Jefferson Farms for sponsoring the Fireside Chat. Thank you guys for supporting and listening, and yeah, back to the show. So yeah, that's really what you need to be thinking about with this the fucking government shutdown shit is that it just doesn't fucking matter, and that, oh shit. Oh my god, what the hell? Wow. Guys, there's two old ladies, walking down the steps here, and it looks like they're coming over to sit down at the fireplace. So, welcome, old lady. These aren't the same two ladies from the first show, but they also, they still look like they're from another time. So, I'm beginning to think that these are apparitions. Never found out where those first ladies came from or where they went to. So, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if this fucking place is haunted, because it is old and creepy. And, not for nothing, we're getting kind of close to Halloween, which, when I was a kid growing up, we always just thought it was about, like, candy and costumes and stuff. And then, my sister, when she grew up and moved away, she, joined this, commune. I don't know. My parents kind of said it was a cult. But anyway, she got really into religion and God and stuff while she was living there. And she said that Halloween is all a bunch of, devil shit and evil spirits and stuff. So if there is anything to that, then, maybe this is a time when, apparitions and ghosts become more powerful. These two, I wouldn't say they look exactly friendly, but, they kind of got me on edge, but they're not doing anything hostile right now. Those first two, one of them poked me a couple of times with, a knitting thing, and so I guess technically that's, more of a poltergeist. Because, I guess a ghost, that's the difference between a ghost and a poltergeist, is, a poltergeist can, I don't really know. I'm not really, a ghost nerd. I'm not into that shit too much, although this is sort of making me think that maybe I need to get a better understanding of what I'm, looking at right now, or what I might be up against, or something. So, because it's one of those things, is you watch Ghostbusters as a kid, and it's just oh, they're all ghosts, and then it's well, the Slimer, he leaves slime everywhere. So, and wasn't that supposed to be more what a poltergeist does? I don't know, but it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really fucking matter. They're just sort of sitting at the fire with me. We're all kind of enjoying the fire. Samantha doesn't really seem to be all that freaked out, so I'm just going to kind of roll with it here. But yeah, the government shutdown, you probably haven't noticed much of anything, unless you, I don't know, maybe you work for the Department of Agriculture, maybe you work for, I don't know, what else does the government even fucking do? Department of Transportation? I don't know, the airports are still running, aren't they? So, air traffic control? They just fucking closed a bridge next to my house to do work on that, so, they're still working on the roads and shit. I haven't, to be honest with you, I don't think there's been a fucking bit of difference. And whatever they have shut down right now, they might as well just keep it shut down. They might as well just fucking keep it shut down forever, because who even fucking notices? Who even cares? Get ready for the weekend. I want you guys to party like you don't even give a fuck about the government shutdown. You probably don't. If I had to guess, you probably don't. So, that's kind of all I have to say about the government shutdown, I guess. But, I'm still kind of, shaken up by those fucking dickhead cops at the Lincoln Memorial. But, yeah, if you want to come see me in person, if you want to see me try to juggle for a little bit, I might be back at the mall, I'm hoping that those meathead Secret Service agents don't come back this weekend for another party when I did get back in here. We're actually recording this on Thursday night, so I can put this out for you guys on Friday, so you're ready for your weekend. We got back in here this morning. The place was fucking trashed. Like, there was, like, I don't even want to describe it, but, like, used condoms and, like, drug stuff and, like, articles of clothing that, I guess you would say loose women would wear, and those were left behind. So you've got to think, like, there's women who, like, strippers, basically, I guess is how I would refer to them. And then, like, they're apparently leaving this place. They're coming here dressed in almost nothing, and then they're leaving in even less clothes. So imagine that. Like, I don't even fucking know. So, and I'm not trying to get those guys in trouble or anything, but, apparently they're not fucking affected by the government shutdown, so who cares? So yeah, everything's just kind of chugging along. Like, I think at this point there's so many things that are exempted from the shutdown that, like, nothing is actually even really fucking shut down at this point. So you don't have to worry about the government shutdown. I'm not worrying about it. I'm still here. I'm still pumping out, premium content for you guys. Stuff that's getting you ready for the weekend. And we're going to be back on Monday with, a Monday monologue. I think we're going with, like, Friday Fireside and Monday monologue. Kind of, like, put the name of the day of the week in there first, so you know when to expect it. It's kind of less important that it's a fireside or that it's a monologue, and it's more important that, like, when to expect it, when to tune in. So, and we'll do our first public service announcement there on, I think we're going to do health first. I don't know. We got to kind of, like, set it up over the weekend, and I gotta, like, check out this laptop more. Like I said, there's, like, a bunch of shit on here, and I kind of want to, like, make sure that I'm not really getting in over my head on, like, I don't really want this to be like a Hunter Biden type of situation. So I hope this is, like, a mostly clean laptop, but like I said, I dug it out of one of those boxes, like classified information that's just sort of sitting around, and there was a big red sticker on it that said secret, so I don't know, that could be bad, but for now, like, it seems to work and it seems to be hooking up to the internet just fine, so I'm not really too worried about it. And yeah, like, I don't think you guys should be worried about it either. And just like the government shutdown, don't worry about it. Like, don't even worry about it. Don't think about it. Don't talk about it. Are they really even talk? I don't watch the news, but are they even talking about it in the news? I don't think so. So it's just not important. All right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I'm getting, like, a growing feeling of unease. These old ladies haven't done anything yet, but it just feels like I've kind of been overcome by, like, a sense of, like, dread. Like, inevitable, something really bad is going to happen. And I kind of just want to wrap this up and maybe get the fuck out of here. So that's what we're gonna do, and thanks for listening, and yeah, hope to see you guys back here on Monday for the monologue, and yeah, have a great weekend, America. Love you. Bye.